We have got more changes to bounties for this patch, some follow-up adjustments for Mbessa, while Smolder's going to be seeing a pretty big overhaul to many of his abilities. And did you know mastering your champion is going to boost your win rate by a massive 9% on average? That's why at SkillCapped we offer Smurf commentaries. Simply select the champion you want to master and get guides from challenger experts teaching you how to play your champion in the exact rank that you are stuck in. You're even guaranteed to have all your questions answered by that very same challenger expert. After that, take one of our 5 brand new courses that teach you the secrets to carrying as a top laner, a jungler, a mid laner, AD carry, and support. And it doesn't stop there. We have new Season 14 courses on macro, wave control, trading, setting and hotkeys, CSing, vision, mechanics, low elo mistakes. Oh, and the list just goes on and on and on. And the best part is you can try all this out completely risk-free. Since if you don't rank up while actively using SkillCapped, you're going to get your money back and no questions asked. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below right now to get the rank that you have always dreamed of. So we're going to start this video off by looking at all the item changes, and first up are some buffs to Yuntal Wild Arrows. The item ended up landing a bit on the weaker side after its 14.22 rework, so Riot's going to be lowering its cost from 3,000 to 2,900. Passive duration is going up from 4 to 6 seconds, while passive cooldown drops from 40 to 30 seconds. We have 2 nerfs to Ghostblade for this patch, but only for ranged champions. The ranged out-of-combat movement speed is dropping from 20 to 10, while active movement speed duration is being lowered from 6 to 4 seconds. A pretty minor nerf to the Collector for this patch, with its cost being increased by 50 gold, going from 2,950 to 3,000. And then bounties are being changed for 14.23, as champion bounties will grow 14% faster from kills and assists. When losing, champion bounty reduction is being increased up to 4 times. The max contribution to objective bounties from gold leads are being doubled. So moving on to all the champion changes now, Azir is first up on the buff list, with his WAP ratio being increased from 35 scaling to 55% to 40 scaling to 60%. We have a mid to late game buff to Master Yi, with his R attack speed going up by 10% at rank 2 and by 20% at rank 3. However, attack speed stays the exact same at rank 1 in the spell. Misfortune will receive a buff to her Q, as the mana cost is going down from 43 scaling to 55 to just 40 flat. Rammus is going to be receiving a really nice buff to his Q, as the cooldown drops from 16 to 12 seconds at rank 1. This is going to be really interesting to track, because this change could open up the option for you to take more points into W now earlier on. So Riot has a few buffs lined up for Rengar, as his R bonus damage total AD ratio is going up from 50 to 100%. Our armor shred is up as well, from 12 scaling to 24 to 15 scaling to 25. Caitlyn is going to be tagged with a nerf, as her R bonus AD ratio is dropping from 150 to 100%. Kha'Zix is going to be a bit more squishy moving forward, with his base armor going down from 36 to 32, and on top of this, evolved W isolated slow drops from 75 to 60%. AP Kog'Maw has really taken over the bot lane meta as of late, so he's getting nerfed, with his Q resist shred dropping from 23 scaling to 31% to 16 scaling to 32%. E base damage is going down, and the AP ratio on E is also being reduced. Shyvana has been one of the better low elo junglers lately, so she's getting nerfed, with her magic resist growth going down from 2.05 to 1.5, and EAP ratio drops from 80 to 70%. We've got one nerf to Skarner lined up for 14.23, as his Q bonus health ratio is going down from 4 to 3%. AP Tahm Kench is getting nerfed for this patch, as his passive AP ratio is going down from 2 to 1.5% per 100 bonus health. Our shield AP ratio is going down as well, from 150 to 100%. Nerfs really only affect certain niche top lane builds, so these changes really won't have a considerable impact on the overall power of Tahm Kench. Jungle Teemo is going to be hit with a nerf for this patch, as his E bonus damage to monsters is going down from 150 to 125%. One Zac nerf is on the way, with his Q max health ratio going down from 4 to 3%. So let's move on to the changes that Riot have listed as adjustments that are aimed at being more power neutral, and first up, we've got Mbessa. Q2 cast window is being increased from 3.5 to 4 seconds. Passive dashes will no longer go over player-created terrain. R is going to be receiving a quality of life change to where any movement command that you issue before an R hits is going to be discarded after your R connects, to avoid you moving toward a position that you're no longer near. We have a bunch of changes to Aurora for this patch, as her Q is seeing its cooldown increased by 1 second, damage is down by 5, however range on Q is going to be up by 50. Q is now also going to automatically recast if the duration runs out, with Aurora when recasting the spell. E range is being increased from 800 to 825. Passive movement speed is being removed. W will now grant 20 scaling to 40% movement speed on cast. R will now grant W movement speed while inside of R instead of amplifying movement speed. R is going to no longer trap enemies but instead slow them by 75% for 1.5 scaling to 2 seconds when they leave the outer edge. R duration is going up from 1.5 scaling to 2.5 seconds to 2 scaling to 4 seconds. Jinx is being adjusted for 14.23 so that her AD ratio is going up from 2.9 to 3.25. However, W total AD ratio drops from 160 to 140%. Rel is going to be receiving a massive amount of changes, and first up is an adjustment to her passive, as it's now going to deal 5% total armor plus magic resist magic damage on hit. Rel passive minimum resist steal is going up from 0.8 scaling to 2 to 1 scaling to 2. Rel base armor is going down from 36 to 30. Base magic resist is down as well from 30 to 28. Attack speed growth is up from 1.5 to 2%. Attack animations are being sped up. W dismounted movement speed is being increased from 297 to 315. W mounted movement speed is going to be lowered though. W dismounted armor and magic resist scaling is up from 12 to 15%. Q stun duration is going down by 0.1 seconds, W1 by 0.2 seconds, and W2 is down by 0.4 seconds. Tenacity is now going to affect Rel's W crashdown knockup. E retreating movement speed is going to be lowered, however E chasing movement speed is going up. E cooldown is dropping from 15 flat to 14 scaling to 10 seconds. E damage is no longer going to have a base value, but the max health ratio is going up from 3% to 5 scaling to 7%. And for the final champion being adjusted for this patch, we have Smolder. Q, W, and R minion damage is going to be reduced. Q base damage is going up, however the ratio is being swapped from a total AD ratio to a bonus AD ratio. Stack damage from Q is also being lowered from 40 to 30%. Q is now going to restore 15 mana on kill. Q bounce damage is dropping from 75 to 50%. Q burn damage is going to scale worse with stacks. The AP ratio is being removed, however the bonus AD ratio is going up. W base damage is going down while the bonus AD ratio is being increased. W2 is straight up buffed with base damage and ratio going up. W mana cost is being changed from 60 flat to 50 scaling to 70. E base damage is dropping, however the total AD ratio is going up while stack scaling is down from 20 to 10%. E bolts scaling are being changed from 1 per 150 stacks to 1 per 100 stacks. R cooldown is being reduced from 140 scaling to 120 seconds to 120 flat.
Okay guys, one last thing. Our rank up guarantee is absolutely insane. It's kind of like signing up for the gym and then just getting a refund if you don't get ripped. That's how confident we are in SkillCapped. We obsess over making the best guides with the top players, the rigorous testing, and top tier video editing to make your climb as easy as possible. If you're ready to level up, just visit SkillCapped.com and literally see the difference.
So that is all that we have for you guys today, as those are all the changes that are going to be hitting live servers when 14.23 drops this upcoming Wednesday, November 20th. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see ya in the next one.